to that, super lean state, you really don't have to restrict your diet too much. The keto diet is based on high fats, moderate protein, and low carbohydrates. The Atkins diet is a low carb diet. You have the paleo diet, which is basically getting back to eating how our ancestors or how wild animals eat, pretty much. That's what a paleo diet is. Pretty much eating grains, nuts, and things of the land. Staying away from refined sugars and processed foods. So you have all kinds of diets. But I'm going to tell you that the most important diet, I'm going to exercise my nutritionist rights here. The most important diet and the most important rule you can follow when following a diet is moderation. Guys, if you do not eat in moderation, doesn't matter what diet you follow, it will always end up in failure. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what I just said? No matter what you follow, no matter what diet you follow, I don't care if you're eating avocados every day, if you're eating fruits every day, if you do not follow a moderate diet, you will fail every single time, guys. It's about moderation. That is what dieting is all about. It's not about, now, granted, your body might react to carbohydrates differently, fats differently, proteins differently. Yes, there is different aspects to everyone's body that react differently to diets. Yes, I will admit that. I will agree to that. Let me pull this little bit back, guys, so you guys can see me or hear me a little bit better. So yeah, guys, some people react to different diets differently. If you've never dieted before, then going on a extreme diet will benefit you big time. But going to the gym, working out, yes, you want to stay active, you want to bring your metabolism up, but you want to work on that diet, guys. It's about eating regularly and consistently, mixing up what you're eating. Don't eat the same thing all the time because you're going to get bored. Okay, you want to avoid boredom. So I'm just getting a handful of kale to throw in my pan here, guys. And I'm going to cook that down till it renders down a little bit. I already got the onions in there sauteed a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, not too much, just to give it a little seasoning. Okay? Diets don't have to be bland, guys. Alright, that's one thing. Your diet should never be bland. It's not necessary unless, again, you're going to be a professional athlete. You're trying to cut back on water intake. Unless you're trying to cut back on, drying out your muscles and leaning up a sorry, the words are fumbling out my mouth right now, guys. But unless you're trying to dry out for a competition or anything like that, that's when you should watch the types of seasonings that you use, because they can draw water into your muscles and under your skin, really under your skin, not into your muscles. You want water in your muscles because you want to avoid cramping up and things of that nature. But competitors, what they do is they try to dry what's called drying out to get their skin to remove as much moisture from underneath their skin. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. We're not talking about competition. I'm not trying to be a competitive bodybuilder at this time in my life. I did when I was younger. Injuries prevented me from that. I tore my chest muscle. I ripped it completely off the bone. And I just started to see what the lifestyle was. I was woken up. I didn't want to take steroids, I didn't want to go into that aspect of my life because, let's be real, guys, in order to be a serious competitor in a lot of athletic events and bodybuilding, to get anywhere ahead, steroid plays a big factor. Okay, it may not start off early in your career and you're trying to be natural, but once the game steps up, so does the ante. Okay, your recoveries are not as good and things of that nature. And I'm not saying there's no such thing as a, natural bodybuilder. I'm not saying that that doesn't exist, but in a professional level, they're not the Mr. Olympias. Okay, let's put it that way. But diet plays a huge key in what you're gonna look like. All right, to get rid of your midsection like I have that I'm trying to get rid of, diet. I don't care how many sit-ups you do. I don't care how many crunches you do. I don't care how many isolation exercises you think you can do. You're not going to get rid of this midsection unless you diet, okay? And one of the biggest keys, I always say it all the time, is water, all right? Aim for a gallon of water a day. If you can get a little bit more, then so do it. Let me take my little water break here. It's not an easy task, guys. Getting a gallon of water a day, let me tell you something. The bathroom will be your enemy. You will hate going to the bathroom, okay, because you're constantly in there. And that's why me and my lady did this challenge. It was a no soda for 30 days, 30-day challenge. No sodas, no refined sugars. We can eat our carbs. She's doing a no-carb diet right now. Little no-carb challenge that she's doing for girlfriends. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing a no sugar from sodas or juices. A gallon of water a day. Every time you go to the restroom, to the bathroom, you do 25 squats. And before we wake up and before we go to sleep. When we wake up and before we go to sleep, we plank for 30 seconds and a minute respectively. I also go to the gym. I'm on a daily basis and I'm pushing myself a little bit harder than I usually am. At first I had to take it a little bit slow because I was going into it full-heartedly and a little too fast. I wind up tearing a quad muscle a little bit. So I had to heal from that. I also, I suffer from back injuries. So you have to be real careful when you get back into it. Just taking my time, guys, one day at a time. You have to take where your level's at into perspective. Okay, the heck with what you used to be able to do. Okay, because what you were able to do at one time is probably what you can't do right now. Okay, that is a reality that I had to face. Is what I used to do before, I can't do it no more. You know what I mean? So my knees, I can't squat down to the ground into the bucket no more. You know what I mean? I can't go bucket deep into squats. I have a torn chest muscle that I experienced years ago, and it's now affecting my right shoulder. So I actually, now that I say that, I have to schedule my MRI, see what's going on there. The other factor that comes into play as well is, since my shoulder's jacked up, I can't do military presses. There's certain side raises I can't do. So I have some restrictions, but it doesn't stop me. All right, so the motivating factor has to come from somewhere, guys. You have to be motivated to want to change, and that's what I'm trying to aim for, is a motivating factor to change my lifestyle, to live healthier, and just get in better shape. So working on getting this midsection down. I want to lose about 10 pounds. I'm at 250 pounds right now. I'm going to get back down to 240. 230 I was aiming for at one time, but 230, at 240 I was looking a little too thin. But I'm gaining muscle now. I'm doing a lot better. So that was breakfast. Let me show you breakfast real quick, guys. So I had a sauteed onions with some kale and some eggs. I have about 4 eggs in there, 3 whole eggs and 1 egg white. Don't be afraid to eat the whole eggs. There is some good fats in egg yolk. The cholesterol, yes, it's high in cholesterol, but it's good cholesterol. Good for your hair, your nails, your skin, If you suffer from high cholesterol, again, watch your intake of eggs. You don't want to go overboard with that. With fats in general, you want to get your triglycerides and your lipid levels in a good plate, in a good level. Get regular checkups. If you're on medication like I am, take your meds. Okay, but you know, if you're dieting correctly, you know, at one point, you know, I was on higher blood pressure pills. I lost the weight and my blood pressure became a lot more stable. My sugar became more stable because diabetes does run in my family. But I lost the weight and my sugar levels, my AC1 levels were really good. So you know, dieting, there's your weight has a lot to do with how you're feeling. All right, guys. So as always, stay true to yourselves, keep it 100, and love you guys. Peace.